Hello and happy Wednesday to you guys. Sorry I didn't get a video out to you on Monday. I had the man flu for the last couple of days and we all know what that means. I was down for the count. But through the grace of God, I survived and I'm ready to bring you the market update. So let's go ahead and get started with housing. Everybody's saying that housing prices have been going down lately, and I hate to break it to you, but that's not technically true. What we're seeing is home buyers reaching for the stars and realizing with higher mortgage rates, they just aren't getting, or at least they're not going to get what they wanted. Let me give you an example. I bought my house in the mid $200,000 range. Today, Zillow is saying that my house is worth $565,000. I think that is ridiculous. However, what home buyers are doing is saying if Zillow says it's worth $565,000, then let's price it at $590,000 since everyone's paying over asking price anyways. Well, in this higher mortgage rate economy, buyers are not jumping. They're passing. Then, after a couple of weeks, I drop my price down to what Zillow or Redfin or my realtor believes the sales price should be, and then my house gets sold. You see, it looks like I dropped my price, but in reality, I should have never priced it that high to begin with. But just like every other buyer in this market, we all want the most bang for our buck. Now, to give you some perspective on that, the Home Price Index report is saying that in April, home prices rose by 2.6%. On a year-over-year basis, that's a total increase of over 20%. That is the highest reading in the 45-year history of this index. They also estimated that 70% of the homes sold for above asking price from March through May. Now, where do you see some of the highest home inflation rates? We've got Las Vegas at 27%. We have San Diego at 26%. How in the heck do those prices keep going up in San Diego? That's ridiculous. And unfortunately, we have Phoenix in the top spot at 30% home inflation. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So as long as supply is low, the sellers will always have the upper hand. Now, I got a chart to go over with you guys. It's called the Q2 Price Expectation Survey. This is huge because it is an educated opinion from 114 of the top US economists. People who do this stuff for a living, and they all want to be right. So let's see what they have to say. Alright, so if you start at the top, it says home price expectation. What they're saying is they expect home prices to go up by 4.8% on a year-over-year basis, which is a cumulative rate of 26.4 years. So in 5 years of owning a home, you're supposed to gain about 25% plus equity in the home is what they're averaging out between the 114 top US economists. Now this next chart I don't quite understand, right? It says risk outlook to housing. Upside is 14.1%, balanced is 29.3%, but the downside is 56.6%. I don't understand that, because if your home is going to be increasing by 25% over the next 5 years, where's the downside in that? I guess the downside could be if you're not a homeowner, maybe that's a downside for you, but this chart is too vague, so I don't know what to get out of that. However, the chart at the bottom, or the stats at the bottom, aren't vague. Are we in a housing bubble? 35% say yes, 65% say no. I don't technically believe we are in a housing bubble. However, if and once we get into a recession, and if the Fed decides to lower the interest rates again and makes rates at zero, and then mortgage rates tend to follow the Fed's funds rate, then again, with lower mortgage rates comes higher housing prices, and then we could get into a housing bubble. That's my personal belief. Which goes into the next question: Can the Fed achieve a soft landing? 29% of economists say yes, and then 71% say no. I say no, as you could probably tell. I'm on the 71% side. And then reached peak 8.5% CPI inflation. So what they're saying is reach peak 8.5% consumer price index inflation. 41% say no or yes, and then 59% say no. So to me, I'm on the no side of this again. And the reason why is because in the last 2 years, gas prices have doubled. Everything that we have takes transportation. So gas prices have doubled, and interest rates in the last 2 years have doubled. So if those two things have doubled, and that's what runs the economy, right? Interest rates and fuel, how is our interest rate only at 8.5% CPI? My personal opinion is that we're probably more at like 13 to 15% true inflation. But again, I'm not going to spend hours and months doing the research, right? I just got to go with what these guys say. But I don't believe that inflation is at 8.5%. I believe inflation should be a lot higher. Well, based off of the metrics that the CPI uses, are we going to see it go higher than 8.5%? I don't know. I think that regardless, once China gets back into the groove and they start doing their importing, exporting, everything will start leveling off and everything will start getting better. But as of right now, I am housing bubble. I don't believe there's one. Will the Fed make a soft landing? I don't believe the Fed's wrong just as much as they're right. And is inflation at 8.5% CPI going to go higher? I don't know. I think it's a lot higher already. With that being said, again, we still live in America. If we want to make it in life, it's up to us, right? What do they say? If it's meant to be, it's up to me. So regardless of what the economy is going to do, we need to make things happen. So remember, life is not meant to be, it's meant to create. Too strong.